Welcome, everyone. It's Raven here, and I have a special guest, and her name is Sarah.
Hi, so good to see you, Raven. Thank you so much for having me.
I know it's so exciting. I was so nervous when I seen you in person. I was
Oh,
sweating bullets. I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna ask her? I'm like nervous, I'm shaking. I was like, you know what? I got this.
well,
And so, yeah.
let's tell the audience where we met. You were at
Oh,
the after
oh,
party for Pretty Boy. That
yes.
was the night of the release, I believe.
Yes, it was. It was so I had so much fun that day. I
I'm
got to
so
meet
glad you
everyone.
came.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to meet most of the cast, and
Yeah.
we had posters there, and we had drinks that were Pretty Boy related from the
Oh,
movie,
yes.
and
It was a blast. I had fun.
yeah, it was great. I'm so glad you could be there.
Okay, so first things first. So welcome. And I know you played in the movie Pretty Boy, and I was wondering if you can possibly describe your character in Pretty Boy.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a quick rundown. So, Pretty Boy is a sequel to a film called Blind.
Mhm.
Now, Pretty Boy was released by Lionsgate just a few weeks ago, so it's out now. You guys can check it out. And, the first film, Blind, is about an actress named Faye. She's at the height of her career. She just finished her biggest film called Fogstorm, and she decides to get laser eye surgery. Well, something goes wrong and she ends up blind. So, with that film, you meet her about uh, a year into her coping with her new life and trying to regain her life back. She's very depressed. She's going through a lot because it's a big change.
Mhm.
Um, so while she's going through all that, there is a stalker that is a super fan named Pretty Boy who is stalking her. So that's kind of the gist of Blind. And then now, fast forward to Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy takes place right after Blind. So it's literally a direct sequel. So
Mhm.
the story continues. So with Pretty Boy, we decided to up the ante and do more of like an 80s style slasher because, we're all fans of the horror genre. So
Yeah.
we wanted to, bring bits and pieces from other films that we grew up love watching into, the films that we're making. So Joe Nutter wrote the script, Marcel Wells directed it, the same with Blind. And yeah, and we just wanted to up the kills. We wanted to up, the production and just up it a lot. So you're going to get a lot more going on in Pretty Boy. Blind is more of our 70s style slow burn drama with horror elements. So you kind of get a little bit of everything in both films. And I play Faye, and she's going through a lot. The first film, she's like I said, she's very depressed. She's going through a whole life change. She's trying to find herself again and where she belongs in the world. And, you don't really find out till the end. I mean, you don't really know what happens. We leave it open ended, and we kind of did that on purpose, which works perfectly for Pretty Boy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so in Pretty Boy, he basically, I don't want to give a lot away because, in case people haven't seen it yet, but basically, Pretty Boy kidnaps Faye and brings her to a neighboring house that's having a Valentine's Day party, and a no couples allowed Valentine's Day party where people are hooking up and having a good time. And well, I guess Pretty Boy and Faye crash it.
Yeah.
So the story continues, and a lot more bloodshed continues. And Faye basically, at this point, has to fight for survival. And because she's blind and she's tied up through most of the movie, she can't really physically fight.
Mhm.
Um, so she has to really dig deep within herself and use um, her wits. She has to really use her mental ability to try to get out of these crazy.
Was there any challenges you faced during the movie? And if so, how did you overcome them?
I mean, there's always challenges within making movies. I mean, that's also the fun about it. With each film, there's new challenges arise, and you just have to go with the flow and learn
Mhm.
because these challenges are going to keep popping back up over and over and over again, and you have to learn from it and try to overcome it. Um, Specific challenges, hmm. Wow, that's a tough one. You got me on this one, Ranger. Well, let me think on Pretty Boy specifically. Hmm, challenges. Gosh. I mean, okay, I'll tell you guys this. We shot the film about 5 years ago. So
Oh,
we shot it right, basically not right after Blind, but soon after Blind was released. We shot, I'm sorry, can you see me and hear me?
yeah, you're good. Yes, you're
Okay,
good.
because I'm getting an incoming call and I'm not sure if
No, you're good. You're good.
so one of the I guess one of the bigger challenges was we shot the film about 5 years ago. So we shot it soon after Blind was released. We did get some really good notoriety with Blind. We did the film fest circuit. We won a bunch of awards. We sold it to over 22 territories around the country. We sold it to Uncorked, which we had a limited DVD release and VHS release too with
That's
another company.
cool.
We got all sorts of Pretty Boy merchandise. We got a Pretty Boy costume and pins and shirts, and we were on a really good roll.
Hmm.
And that's how we were able to make Pretty Boy because of that. We had a friend that worked closely with Grindstone Lionsgate, and they were able to get our script to them. And Lionsgate agreed to buy the script, pre-buy the script, as long as they can make it a standalone movie.
Hmm.
So you can watch Pretty Boy without watching Blind, but to get a better understanding of the characters, I definitely suggest watching Blind and make it kind of a fun double, feature kind of night.
Yeah.
Um, but so I would say one of the biggest challenges was after filming Pretty Boy, which was overall great. There's always gonna be challenges and roadblocks and things like that, but we were able to overcome it. And we're all independent filmmakers, so working in the indie film, it's very rewarding because you learn so much, because you're basically wearing many hats. Like, you're not just an actor, you're helping out on set, you're doing everything to make it the best movie possible. And that's what teamwork is. Making a film is teamwork. And to really get it done right, you all have to work together as a unit. So the biggest challenge was, in my opinion, that we had to wait so many years for this film to come out. And it's just one of those things where you have all these middlemen, and the business side of the industry is very hard.
Yeah.
It's very cutthroat. People try to underhand you. They try to, there's a lot of unfortunate things that happen behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. And you got to just roll with the punches. But, we were on a really great kick with Blind. And then we just shot Pretty Boy. We had Pretty Boy in a couple film fests that did really well. And then there was nothing. And it was such a bummer because we actually had a sequel planned after Pretty Boy. And
Awesome.
we also had a prequel planned for Blind after doing the sequel to Pretty Boy, which is crazy. It's a lot of sequels, prequels,
Yeah.
but you got to think that way. As a business person, you have to think, okay, what can we do next? What is going to come next? And unfortunately, all the buzz and everything kind of just went away because there was nothing we could do. That we were just sitting on the movie. It was completely finished. It was done. And we were just dealing with a lot of BS. So that was honestly one of the biggest challenges. And, to overcome something like that, you just got to keep pushing.
Yeah.
You got to keep working. You can't sit there and be like, well, this is it. I'm done. I'm through. No, you got to keep pushing forward. And, one of my biggest quotes that I am like fully about is, don't worry about things you can't control.
Mhm.
Only focus on things you can control, or else you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, that is true.
So, we just kind of kept our heads up and kept, just doing our thing. And now it's out and we're very happy and we're pushing it like crazy. And you never know. I mean, the sky's the limit at this point. So I'm just really happy that it's out now and we can promote it and we can, show the people how hard we worked on it. And yeah, I'm very proud of that film.
Oh, that's good. I like the way how you think. You're very positive, which is good
Yeah,
because not a lot of people
I'm
are
very
positive.
right. I'm very optimistic
Hmm.
and positive. You know, it's just it's such a tough industry and it's so easy to get depressed and down and I'm not good enough. You know, it really can mess with your mental, your mental stability.
Yeah.
So, what I like to do in between filming, like right now, there's not a whole lot going on in the industry, and everybody knows it. It's a thing. Like, if you don't work in the industry, you don't know that. But the people that are working in the industry right now, it's like really hard because, it all started with COVID. When COVID hit, then we had the strikes and
Oof.
then we had the LA fires, and it's like one thing after another, and it's really slowed down production. But I recently read an article actually today on LA Weekly that Governor Newsom is giving us a bigger tax break or tax incentive. So I'm hoping that brings a lot back here because a lot of people have left
Mm.
because the work is very minimal right now.
Yeah.
So but you just got to keep pushing forward, try to keep a positive mindset, and just not focus on,
The negative.
right. I mean, try to find other things in your life that make you happy. Like for me, I love hiking. I love being outdoors. I love being in nature. I love working out. I love, traveling. So I'm trying to just focus on, like I said, things that I can control.
Hmm.
And when opportunities come, auditions, do the best you can to your ability, and just hope for the best. If you don't get it, you don't get it. You just gotta say, you know what, I did my best. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's really all you can do. So
Wow.
just try to focus on the positives, and that goes with any career path you're doing.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. You're the type of person who kind of like goes with the flow, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, you really have to, especially as an actor. You just have to and producer. You have
Yeah.
to go with the flow, try to put out fires, learn from them, and just learn from all the obstacles that get thrown at you in life, and just keep growing and learning.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I also noticed that you acted in the movie Garden of Evil. I mean, I'm sorry, Garden of
Well, it's
Eden.
basically like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which scene is your favorite?
Which
Without
one
trying to
is?
spoil it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Garden of Eden, for those who don't know, just came out. You can find it on streaming everywhere. And also, we just got DVDs and Blu rays as well on Amazon. So definitely check that out. Um, and I'll just give you a quick rundown of Garden of Eden, then I'll give you maybe one of my favorite scenes. So, Garden of Eden is about a family. They're very well off, they're very religious, and they decide to give back to the community by throwing these beautiful, big, extravagant parties. And within these parties, one lucky guest can have their most wished for dreams to come true. But some people's dreams are other people's nightmares.
Wow. I like that.
So, yeah. So, with that one, it's very kind of like A24 style vibe. It's very, I don't know if you saw the film Martyrs.
Mm.
It's a very like really, can we swear on here?
Yeah, yes, you're good.
It's really fucked up. And that's actually one of the scripts that Joe Netter wrote for Marcel Walls, um, before any of the films we started making together. So that this Garden of Eden has been in the works for a while.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, that film is just really, it's controversial. It deals with family dynamics, narcissism, what's good and evil, what's good and bad, justifications, religion, just lots of controversial subjects that we're dealing with. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was.
I play Angelique Eden, and she is the daughter in the family, and she's really evil. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I like to tell people, like, well, tell us something about your character. Well, you know how some people are products of their environment. she is a product of her environment because she grew up in this household where she thinks that, you know, the family that's doing all this fucked up stuff, she thinks that's normal. That's all normal. But
Mhm.
there's also a part of her that has to think, no, 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 this can't be normal. This can't be. And so she's a product of her environment, but also she was born evil. And you will see that in the film,
Yeah.
especially at the end.
Oh my gosh,
The
yeah.
end is wow.
I know. I was like, dang. Did you who come up with the idea?
Well, I mean, Joe, who wrote the film,
Mhm.
you know, he's very in tune with the horror genre.
Ooh,
Like you can
okay.
ask him anything about any movie, he will tell you all about it. So he's very like, and he's very great with writing character-driven stories and stories that suck you in and take you on a journey. And that's very much this film. So he really wanted to go outside the box and just do, you know, what are some of the most fucked up things we can do in this movie? And he wrote it in there. And
Yeah.
because he knew Marcel was big, he likes that. Marcel really likes, you know, like I said, murders, and you know, he really likes that really gory stuff, but also gory stuff, but also things that are beautiful. He's a very visual director, and you'll see that throughout the film. There's a lot of like beautiful sweeping shots and colors, and you know, the cinematography by Marcus Friedlander is just amazing. He's such a great friend, and he's such a great DP. So you know, all of us coming together to make this was really a dream come true, and it was really, you know, beautiful, and you can see that within the film. um I'm trying to think what my favorite scene was. Whew. Because there's stories behind
Yeah.
every crazy or you know whatever scene. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away, but definitely the end of the film Raven, which I'm sure you remember with the
Yeah.
cross.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away because the movie just came out, but there's a scene with the dad of the film, Robert, who played Robert Russler, who plays the dad. He is doing something with the cross, and it's really fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The story behind that is just so crazy because he originally was very nervous about doing it, and he was very apprehensive. And the day of the shoot, he actually pulled Marcel aside and was like, "I can't do it." And you know, as indie filmmakers, we don't have the time, we don't have the money, we can't add an extra day. If you add
Yeah.
an extra day, that's like another 10 grand. You got to repay, you got to pay actors more, you got to pay crew more, you got to pay the location more. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So you know, we were all just like, oh my god, what are we going to do? Because it's the finale of the movie, it's like a huge scene. So Marcel luckily was able to you know, talk to him and work it out. And when he got on set in the scene, getting ready, doing it, and then he started doing it, he just said, "Give me the cross." And right then they were like, "Okay, we're good."
Oh
That's all
wow.
I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, it came out really good. I was shocked. I was like, oh shit.
I
It's
know it's
funny.
really crazy, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say this, it's not giving anything away, but I mean, really what it means is, I don't want to say it. There's basically, I think what it means is God fuck them in the end.
Mhm.
That's what it means.
Yeah, I think so.
So now
And
you guys have to watch it to see what I'm talking about.
yes, please. Oh my gosh. And when acting in those scenes, when it comes to like the gory scenes, does it ever mess you up mentally?
Um, it does in a way because when I go in, I go all in,
Hmm.
and I invest in the characters. I give every character I play a backstory. So nobody else knows my backstory. Only I do.
Hmm.
I'll say this with Blind. Um, for example, and I'm not talking just the gory scenes, but like the mental, what it mentally does to you, like when you really get immersed in a character, and a story, and you're doing it. Like sometimes that stays with you. And with Blind, when I first read the script, I cried the first time I read the script because I really felt that Faye character, and I could, I really felt what she was going through. And when we started filming, like I was becoming depressed. There were times where I would be after filming, I would be sitting in the bath, I would be crying just out of nowhere. I would be searching in the cupboards without looking because I was so used to playing blind for, that time we were shooting. So that character stuck with me for months after shooting. So to be able to reprise that role was, it was something very special because that character was so special to me. So when the first day of Pretty Boy, when I got on set, Marcel's standing there, Joe's standing there, and Jed Rowan, who plays Pretty Boy, is standing there in the room in full costume. I walk in there in my full costume from shooting Blind, and I just started crying because it was just so impactful. And, as independent artists, we don't usually get those opportunities or those chances to bring stories back to life and to continue on with the character. So to be able to play Faye again and step back in her shoes was really a special thing for me, and I'll never forget it. And as far as like the gore stuff, yeah, you're in the scene, and depending on the special effects artists, they're really freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the special effects artists are, what they do is magic. And the horror films that I work in and work on, all of the effects are practical. There's little to no CGI. It's all there right in front of you. So when you see it, it's like traumatizing kind of, because you're like, that it looks so real. So yeah, I mean, a shout out to Vincent Guastini, who did the effects in Garden of Eden. Amazing special effects artist.
Yeah.
And and then for Brute 1976, which we can talk about soon after that, and also the sequel to that, we have Robert Curran III. And he is just, the stuff he was able to do in 76 and 86 will blow your mind. I can't wait for you guys to see those films. It's unbelievable what he was able to do, him and his team. So yes, but yes, exciting. It does mentally mess you up when you see stuff like that. You're like, Jesus, because it looks so good. And I will tell you this, I am afraid of needles. I'm not gonna lie, it is on my IMDb.
Do you have any like tattoos or anything like that?
No.
Oh, okay. So
I do want to get a tattoo actually, and I want to get one of a snake at some point. I don't know when, but I really want to.
Oh my God. How are you gonna like mentally prepare yourself? Because it's like a needle. So
I know. I don't know. It just depends where I'm gonna get it. So I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to, but maybe when I have my midlife crisis, I will. And I feel like it's coming soon.
It'd be like that. Oh my God. And I've seen your Instagram that you have a pet snake, right?
I do.
Your name is also Eden?
Yes. And okay, so the story behind the snake, when we were shooting Garden of Eden, we knew we needed a snake. So instead of, paying someone to come in, a snake wrangler and the snake, and, if we needed an extra day, that would cost extra money. So it was Joe's idea. He's like, let's just get a snake, because then the production company can pay for the snake and everything the snake needs. And then we'll have her a part of the family. Yeah. So we got a snake. And it's funny too, because the only other time I held a snake was, I think it was at Gatorland many years ago. And it was like, I think it was a boa or something, a big yellow snake. And I was like, I was afraid, but after holding the snake, I was like, oh, this isn't bad. Like, they're really tame and calm. But when we got Eden, I was like deathly afraid of her, until I got to get to know her, get to know her habits, get to know her just as a beautiful being that she is. And now we're inseparable.
Aww.
Like, I take her out of her enclosure so she gets exercise. She's always on my shoulders or, you know, moving around on the ground. And, you know, she's my baby and I love her to pieces. And I really want to get another snake.
Oh.
Um, I'm obsessed now. But yeah, she's really great. And she's also been on other films too. So I've actually been her snake wrangler.
How cool. Can you describe her personality?
She's very sweet. She's very kind. She's very just like she likes doing her own thing. She's chill. She's independent. She's very much like me.
Love that. I like that.
She's beautiful and she's just, you know, a ray of sunshine for me. And at any time I hold her or just see her sleeping in her enclosure and just moving around, it's just, you know, it puts a smile on my face and just makes me feel really good.
Oh, you said you have another pet, right?
Yes, I have a dog. His name's Larry, and he is a terrier a Chihuahua mix, and he's actually right here sitting next to me. You want to see him?
Yeah, please.
Larry, hey, hey, come here, come here. This is
Oh,
Larry.
how
He's such a good little boy. He just turned 1. And you know, he's a bundle of joy and I just
cute.
love him to
How
pieces.
cute.
I had to take his collar off because it makes so much noise and I was like, okay. And I couldn't leave him in because I'm in the garage right now. It's a furnished garage and I was like, okay, I do my interviews out here, it makes things easier. But if I left him in the house, he'd be howling like crazy. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you're coming with me, buddy.
Oh, cute. Oh,
So yeah, pets
that's
are
so
amazing.
cute. I
They're
know.
just another part of the family and just, you know, they just make you put a smile on your face.
And they keep you on your toes, huh?
You got that right.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Amen to that.
Yeah. And I have like the fan favorite questions.
Oh
So,
boy.
what's your favorite horror movie?
Okay. So this is my favorite horror film, mainly because this is what got me into my love of horror films and has got me to where I am today. My favorite is Child's Play.
No way!
Yes.
That's so
Yes.
cool.
Yes. When I was around 5 years old, um, Larry, come here. Oh, neighbors. Um, when I was 5 years old, I was around 5. My grandma, she would babysit my sister and I when my mom would be working. And come here. And you know, one of our favorite things we would do is go to the video store and rent movies. And yes, I am aging myself. VHS movies. And oh, how do I miss those glory days? But so one day when we went, there was a new release and it intrigued me. There was this creepy doll holding a knife on the cover, and it was Child's Play. And somehow my sister and I talked our grandma into renting it for us. And our mom, you know, she was always very protective of us kids.
Hmm.
And, you know, she was a single mom. So, you know, she didn't want us to watch any sort of violence or, you know, even romantic stuff or anything. She just trying to shield us as much as she could. But my grandma opened a whole new door for me. When I watched it, it scared the living hell out of me. And I loved that feeling. I was definitely afraid of my dolls for months later, but just the feeling that it gave me and I wanted more. So that's where my love of horror started. So that is my favorite horror film.
Wow, shout out to your grandma.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And would you say he's your favorite horror villain?
He's definitely one of them. You know, because he's fast, he is efficient, he is funny.
Yeah.
He has like such a personality. You know, you gotta love it. And I don't know, I also like what are you doing, you dear stinker? I also really like and love Michael Myers
Oh, good one too.
from Halloween. Like, I mean, he is just scary, creepy. and classic. It's such a classic villain, and you know, you just can't go wrong with Michael Myers either. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many of them, but yeah, those are definitely my top two. Hey, stop!
What's the most unsettling or disturbing scene you have ever seen in a horror movie?
Oh shit! Ooh, most unsettled. Oh my god. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I will give a recent one. Um, so I recently watched Bring Her Back.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You saw it?
Yeah. I seen
Okay.
that one.
I gotta say, that film is my favorite film of this year so far. Not just horror film in general.
Mm.
I I could rant and rave about it all day, but I love the directors. I love their energy. They did talk to me. Is that what
Yeah,
it's called? Talk to me.
I think so, yes.
Um, and they're these young directors, and they are killing it in the horror scene right now. And I cannot wait to see what else they come up with, because this film was just fantastic. It was an original possession story, beautifully shot, beautifully written. Um, there's so much depth to it. The acting is just phenomenal. I just cannot say enough good stuff about it. It's a really fucked up movie,
Yeah.
but it's really good. I went into it and I was like, I was reading stuff online about it on Facebook, and I'm like, what am I? Is this something I even want to watch? And I'm glad I did, and I didn't listen to anybody. But everyone's saying it's fucked up, but it's really good. There's a scene in there where, uh, okay, so this kid that's possessed. I don't want to give it all away in case people haven't seen it, but
Mhm.
you should, because it's been out for a month now, I think. Um, this kid who's being possessed, he bites down on this table, and I can't remember if there's like, was it glass he was biting or something? I can't remember, but it like split his mouth and his teeth are falling out, and it's just
Yeah.
insanity. And I was just like, I literally was like this.
Oh, shoot.
So that was really, I would say that's one of the most disturbing things I've seen in a long time. But another one, now that it's coming back to me, I love Cabin Fever.
Hmm.
Big Cabin Fever fan. Serena Vincent, love her. And we actually got her for one of our first film from our production company, from Joe Marcel and I, called That's a Wrap. And we actually got her for the opening scene, Serena Vincent, and she is fantastic.
That's
Um,
cool.
but I loved her in Cabin Fever. The scene where she's shaving her legs, still to this day, just cringes me, because as a woman watching that, I'm like, oh, we know that feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, oh my gosh. That's a good one. Um, if you could be any horror villain or monster, who would you be?
ooh, horror villain or monster? Dang. Hmm. Wow, that is a great question. Huh. Wow. Um, there's multiple answers to that. But thinking about it just right here, right now, um, so people say this is more of like a thriller, but I feel like it's more of a thriller horror film. Um, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yes.
Um, Hannibal Lecter. Honestly, that man can hide in plain sight and do all this fucked up shit. That is a villain that is like, I don't want to say amazing, but it is, because he can hide in plain sight and just be this insane guy doing all this insane type of stuff. So that would be kind of one of my favorites, because you can do all sorts of things, and you know get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
He was locked up, but he got out. He got away, and now he's on an island somewhere, hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Those are my kind of villains that like. It's scary. It's like serial killers. Ted
Yeah.
Bundy.
Mm.
That nobody had any. He was the most normal looking guy, suave. You know, a lot of women thought he was attractive.
Yeah.
He had this chiseled face, everything, but he was a sadistic serial killer, and nobody knew. So those kind of like real life situations, villains, I feel like, are the ones that are the ones to look out for,
Yeah.
because it could be your best friend and they could be a serial killer or something. You wouldn't know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love like the serial killer type stuff. I'm big into. I actually went to school originally before acting, before I decided to follow my true passion. I went to school for criminal justice.
That's sick.
So, I was always interested in the criminal mind, what made them tick,
Mm-hmm.
what makes them do what they do. And, I learned so much along the way. And it's just so interesting, to learn about the psyche and, why they are the way they are, if they're a product of their environment or if they were born that way or if they're both. And that's why playing Angelique Eden in Garden of Eden was a really special role for me because, I play a psychopath basically. And she justifies her actions, you know, for the word of God, but she also knows she's doing the wrong thing, but she loves it.
And before I let you go, I just want to say thank you for joining with me and thank you for giving me an opportunity to interview you because this was amazing. I had fun.
Yay! You are awesome, Raven. Thank you so much. And everybody, please check me out online. I'm on Instagram, Sarah French Online, and also on Facebook, Sarah French. And I'm always happy to chat and share all the news that's coming because there's a lot more coming.
Yay, how exciting.
And I'll have to come on for Brute 1976 and the sequel to that.
Oh, yes, I'm so excited for that one. Okay, well, again, thank you so much for joining and I hope you have the good rest of your day and
Thank
stay
you.
blessed.
Thank you. You too.
All right, well, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for watching this video. And don't forget, I have a reading for you. A shuffle. Okay. And the first card is the Knight of Wands. Passion, adventure, impulse, inspired, and action. Okay. Then let me take out one more card. I don't have my glasses on, but this one says the Ace of Wands. A spiritual gift, ideas flow towards your soul. Follow your passion, rich potential for growth, beware of pitfalls. This is actually, I never received this card, so this is pretty cool. So far, they're all wands, and then the bottom of the deck. Okay, so Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, the spirit of charity. Look at that. Okay, so this is a good reading. So my hair's a mess, but just ignore that. Okay, first things first. We got the Knight of Wands. So this represents you. It represents the hardworking person that you are. The things that you've already received. I mean, the things that you already achieved means you have already received. Gotcha? Meaning like received your blessings. So all your hard work is paid off, right? And now that you have the power in your hands to move forward in life and you're able to control things in your power, just like Sarah said in the video, she's only able to control the things that she can control. And is basically stating that but by mean we, it's you. because you are the one that holds the power, right? Right. You yourself is cheering yourself on. Got that? So, another example is if you want to do something in life, have the mentality of that's easy. I can do it. I can start doing it right now, or I can do that tomorrow because it's so easy, you know? Try to manifest the things in life that you want and actually do it. So, for example, I used to be so shy to record myself in person, or, I'm so shy to talk to other people. I used to be very antisocial. But I told myself if I want something in life, I have to go get it because no one else is going to get it for me. So I'm happy that I am where I am today. Does that make sense? You know? So you can take me, for example. So for someone who's antisocial, and I wouldn't say weird because you guys don't know my personality just yet. But once you get to know me more, then you're gonna be like, oh, I get it. But as of right now, I honestly think that you have to overcome your fears and overcome the things that, whatever's pulling you back, kind of let that go and go forward in life. If you're afraid of judgment, are you afraid of criticism? Like whatever it is that you're afraid of, try to tell yourself that it doesn't exist. And like for example, I'm gonna tell you something that also helps me with whatever that I'm doing in life. I tell myself, well, no one is the boss of me, except for myself. Why am I going to let someone's criticism or judgment get the best out of me when they don't even know who I am or they don't know what I want to do in life? Does that make sense? If you want to become the greatest swimmer, I'm not going to tell you, oh, good luck because there's someone out there who's even better than you. Who cares? You can at least try to be the bestest swimmer. Maybe it's a bad example, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Hopefully you do. So basically, be your own cheerleader and cheer yourself on until the very end, right? And who knows, maybe as during your journey, the more you cheer yourself, the more people are going to want to cheer with you. So, you're never going to be alone. At first, yes, because no one does understand the potential that you have only yourself, right? So, I'm gonna root for you and say keep on going with the things that you want to do in life. Push yourself forward. Don't let any other judgment and criticism get to you. Don't let the negative feedback get to you. We can all learn from our mistakes. Does that make sense? So, yes, good job and keep going forward. Regardless of what people are saying about you. Only you can define yourself. Only you can define yourself. Nobody else around you, right? And the bottom of the deck is Six of Pentacles, which represents the spirit of charity. So good things come to those who wait. These are basically blessings right over here. You see that coin? Get that bag. So for those of you who believe in like positive energy or the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in, they're always watching you and they're watching over you and they see all the hard work you've done. So, like I said, keep going forward, push yourself. Don't let anything stop you or don't let anything pull you back, please. Because in the end, look at that. You're gonna get that coin, you're gonna get that bag. You get me? So, yes, I think this is a good opportunity for everyone, or a good thing for everyone. We learn as we grow. I like to say growing and glowing because the more we grow, the more we obviously change our futures. We tend to look different from our past selves because we finally got over that stage of being afraid of trying something new. Does that make sense or no? But yeah, so I hope that helps and maybe has helped you change your mindset a little bit to do something that you want to do in life. So yeah, I really like this reading. I hope you guys take care. Don't forget to follow me on my social media. I'll put it down right here. So, yeah. Okay, well, have a great day. Stay blessed and take care. And remember, never stop growing and glowing. Point blank, period. All right. Bye, guys. Take care.